Hello and welcome to this video on database management systems. In our first lab on MySQL, that was the week 8 lab, we have seen how to use the database that is on the Genesis server. Now, this video is not dedicated to any specific lab. This video will only show you how to install a database server on your own computers. So this is completely optional and it is not required. But if you want the database to be running on your own computer and use that for the remaining labs, then you can proceed with this video on how to install a database server on your computer. Again, it is optional. You can continue using the Genesis server otherwise. There are some pros and cons of using the Genesis server or the local database server on your computer. So with the Genesis server, you can only work with the database that is given to you. You can't create or delete any database. You will also lose access to the Genesis server once you complete this course. So whatever was there in your database will be gone. But with the local installation, you have full control of what you do with the database. But then if your computer crashes or if you lose it, then you will also lose whatever was there with the database. So this can be expensive, especially if you had your assignment data in your local database. But with the Genesis server, you will not have this issue because your data is on the Genesis server and you can access it from anywhere. So it's up to you which one you prefer, looking at their pros and cons. So there are many free database servers that you can install and use on your computers, and one of them is XAMPP, right? So you can just head into Google and search for XAMPP, and then go to the downloads section. Now in here there are installers available for Windows, Linux, and OS X. I assume that all of you are using Windows, so I'll download the latest version, which is version 8 at the time of this recording. Right, so I'll hit download. Right, so this may take some time depending on your internet speed. Mine is downloaded, so wait until yours is downloaded and then you can open the downloaded file. Right, so to install, you will double click on the file and click on yes when this window appears. Again, click on OK when this message appears. So you will just go by the default settings by clicking on next, right? You don't have to change anything in here. Just click on next once again. Next, 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 and next again. Right, so the installation will take some time. So what I'll do is I'll pause the recording and I'll come back once the installation is complete. So you can also pause the video now. Okay, so the installation is complete. You can click on finish. Okay, so something like this will appear. This is called the XAMPP control panel. Now, if for some reason this does not appear, then what you can do is go to start menu and search for XAMPP. Right, you will open this up, right, and you get this window. So at this point, the database server is installed on your computer, and to start the server, what you need to do is click on this start button that is beside the MySQL module. Right, so this is going to start the database server. Right, you should get this number over here. Okay, that will indicate that the server has started. And if you look at the message below, it says MySQL is running. Okay. Now with this local database, you also get access to PHPMyAdmin, just as we have been using a PHPMyAdmin with the Genesis server. So to start PHPMyAdmin, you will need to start this Apache module as well. Right, click on start. Okay, and once again you should get some numbers over here, IT and 443. and at the bottom it says Apache is running. Now to open phpMyAdmin page, you will click on this admin button that is beside the MySQL module. Click on admin, right, and this page will open in your browser, right? So you have seen this before on the Genesis server. Now on the left hand side there are some databases given, so you will not do anything with this. What you will do is to create a new database which you will use for the labs. Okay, and the other way to access the database server or to run your queries is by using the MySQL console. So we'll first have a look at how we can use this phpMyAdmin page in here. So we can create a new database from here. So you can click on new and give a database name. I'll write IS222. Right, you can give any name that you like. So click on create. Okay, so the database is created over here. It says IS222. And to run the queries, you will go to the SQL tab once again, just as we have seen in lab 8 or week 8 lab. Now I'll run some of the queries from week 8 lab just to show how to execute things in here. Right, so this is the solution from week 8 lab. So to show the tables, we have written this command. So you'll copy this, go to the SQL tab and paste the query and click on go. All right, so at the moment we don't have any tables, so that is why we don't see anything. Right, select the current version and date. Once again, SQL tab, paste and run. Right, we get the version and we get the current date. Okay, so in a similar way you can run all the other queries. Now the other method of accessing the MySQL database is using the MySQL console. So to open the console, you will again go to this XAMPP control panel, and to bring up the console, you will click on this shell button over here, right? And we get this black console over here. Now what we can do over here is, just as we are running the queries over here in this SQL tab of phpMyAdmin, we can also run the queries over here, right? So to run the queries over here, you will not need to go to the MySQL prompt. So to change that, you will write cd MySQL /bin, and then you will press enter, right? And then you will write MySQL, right? Make sure the prompt changes to something like this, c:/XAMPP MySQL and bin. And then in here, you will write MySQL space -u root space -p. And where am I getting this command from? This is coming from the lab handout that was given for week 8 lab. Right, you will find this command in there. Right, so we use this to log into the database. So in our lab, we have not used PuTTY, but if we had used PuTTY, then this is how things will be in there. You will enter this command to log in to the server using PuTTY. And then our database does not have any password, right? There's no password by default. So just press enter once again, and it says welcome to MariaDB. Now, if I want to see how many databases are there in my database server, so I will write show databases, right? And we get the same information that we can see on the phpMyAdmin page, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 databases. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. Okay. Now, if you want to create database from this console, you can write the command for creating the database, that is create database, and we can create a database by the name test. You can give any other name, right? So query was okay, and if I execute the show database command once again, you will see that we have one more database called test. Now, how do you go into a database? Right, this is the command use and then database name. So if I want to use the IS222 database for my queries, I'll write use and then the database name, which is IS222, semicolon, enter. It says database changed. Now, once again, you can execute all of these commands using this console as well. So to show the tables, you will write show tables, paste, run. It says empty set because at the moment we don't have any tables. So let's create some table. So I'll copy this command for creating the pet table. Right, copy and right click to paste. Okay, and then press enter. It says query was okay. And if I want to see the tables, I'll write show tables, enter, and it is showing us one table, that is pet, that we have just created. And if I go onto the my PHPMyAdmin page, and if I refresh the page, right, you will see that inside the IS222 database we have this new table called pet, which we have created from here, right? So it is up to you which interface you want to use for executing the queries for the future labs. You can either write your queries over here, right, or you can write it over here in this console, right? There's no difference, you can use either of it. These two interfaces are not very convenient to use. As I have said in the Week8 lab, if you want to run some command, you will write the command and then click on go, right? So the query will execute, and then if you go back to the SQL tab, your query is gone. So if you want to edit the query, then you will not be able to do that. So you will have to write everything once again. Okay. So to overcome that issue, what we did is we have written all the queries in Notepad or Notepad++. So we write the query here, we go to the interface, paste, and then run. And then if you want to edit something, we go back here, we edit, and then run once again. So same issue is with this console. That is the MySQL console. Editing the queries over here is very difficult. So there's a beta tool that we can use to execute our queries, and that is called MySQL Workbench. So to install that, so again, that is optional. You can use either this console or PHPMyAdmin, right? That is up to you. But if you want to use a beta tool to execute the queries, right, then you can go ahead and download MySQL Workbench. You can open this link, mysql.com. Okay, and then you will click on download now. You can select the operating system that you are using. So I assume you all are using Windows, right? So we'll go by the default, which is Windows. And then over here, you can click on download. Now, thanks. Just start my download. So this is going to download MySQL Workbench. So wait till your download is complete. Okay, so the download is complete. Now I'll open the file. Double click to install. Okay, click on next. Next, you'll just go by the default settings. Click on yes when this message appears. Click on finish. Okay, so you come up to this screen. It says welcome to MySQL Workbench. Now, how do we connect this to our database? So to connect, you will click on this plus symbol over here that says MySQL connections. Click on this plus symbol, and in here you can write some connection name. Maybe you can write my database or anything, IS222 database, something like that. And then for host name, you will leave this to 127.0.0.1. right? You will leave this to default, right? And for the schema, what you will write is you are going to write the name of the database that you have created over here, right? If I do show databases, right? So whichever database you have created, in my case, I have created IS222, okay? Or you can view from the phpMyAdmin console, right? So I'll be using IS222 database for future labs, and that is the name of my database. So in the MySQL workbench, you are going to write IS222, right? The same name as you have entered over here, right? And then you can click on test connection to see if we are able to connect, and click on continue, and it says successfully made the connection. Click OK, and then click on OK over here. All right, so you will get this at the bottom here. Double click to open that up. Okay, so we have this workspace to write our queries. So just as we were executing the queries over here in the SQL tab, right, or in the MySQL console, right, you can do the same thing over here, right? So you will write the queries over here. So I'll copy this entire query from the lab or the vKite lab. I'll paste it in here in the MySQL workbench. Yeah, so if I want to run a particular query, now in here I will start with the first one. Right, so let us just run these queries from Labite and see how it works. So to use a particular database, you will write the database name, which is in my case it is IS222. Right, so to run the query, you will put the CASA or this flashing line on that particular query that you want to run, and click on this flash button, right? This second one, no, not the first one. Click on that, right? So at the bottom you will see the query that was executed is written over there, and you have this green circle that indicates that the query ran successfully. So the database was changed. Let's see the tables. So I'll select this particular query and click on this flash icon. Right at the bottom you will see table seen as IS222, it says pet. So if you want to select the version and current date, again put the CASA on that particular query and click on the flash icon. Right, so we get the version and current date. Select the current user, again select, run the query. Right, it says the current user is root at localhost. So in the similar way, you can run all the other queries, and you can try playing around with this MySQL workbench just to get a feel of the environment. Now for the future labs, I will be using this MySQL workbench because it is much convenient than phpMyAdmin or the MySQL console. And then at the end, what you can do is just write the command, and then at the end you will save the file. So to save the file, you will click on File, Save Script. You can save select a location, save, and then you will submit the same file on Moodle. All right, you don't have to write the queries in Notepad once again. So that was all for this video. Thank you for watching.